now two special messages of welcome to you from the World Travel and Tourism Council. First, the chairman, Arnold Donald, and the CEO, Julia Simpson. I direct your attention to the screen.
Hello, it's great to join you today, even though I can't be with you in person. Speaking to a group of the most innovative and exciting leaders in travel today is indeed, for me, a privilege. As you all know, travel and tourism are the backbone to economies around the world. Thanks to each of you, collectively, our sector supports millions of jobs. And as we've all experienced, it's not always easy. The past 2 years have been devastating for our sector. But as is often the case, there is light at the end of the tunnel. The world is traveling again. And over the next decade, WTTC research shows that we are on a trajectory for our sector to create nearly 126 million jobs worldwide. Now that is a huge prize worth reaching for. But if there is one thing the pandemic has reminded us of, it's this: the great challenges of our age are shared, and we cannot tackle them alone. The world is smaller than ever. People, goods, and ideas flow across borders more so than ever before in history. We are deeply interconnected, and it's no longer enough for our leaders, or frankly for any of us, to work in isolation. Today's problems demand much closer collaboration. It's true for health, it's true for travel, and it's certainly true for climate action. Carbon emitted in one part of the world can cause tragic climate effects like devastating floods and forest fires on the opposite side of the globe. We must work together. And I don't just mean politicians. All of us in the travel and tourism sector also need to show leadership. Working together, let's put sustainability at the heart of everything we do. Acting in unison, collaborating, we can achieve great things. Travel and tourism is uniquely positioned to protect and to restore nature. We are her guardians. With initiatives such as WTTC's Net Zero Roadmap, as Julia has been sharing in her travels around the globe, the first ever sector-wide net zero blueprint addressing carbon emissions, sustainability, and biodiversity. And there was fantastic news that came last month from Montreal at the UN Aviation Agency's 39th Assembly. An historic agreement was made in aviation for a new global mechanism to control CO2 emissions, the first agreement of its kind. These examples bring me real hope for our future. Clearly, sustainability is non-negotiable. Our sector depends on it. Our children's future world depends on it. Together, let's lead by example. As you know, I spent the last 9 years as president and CEO of Carnival Corporation and PLC. We're the largest cruise company in the world with brands you know well: Carnival, Holland America, Princess, Seabourn, Costa, P&O, Cunard, AIDA, and P&O Australia. Now, recently, having stepped down as president and CEO, I now serve as vice chairman of our board. Our cruise lines sail the world in enormous and majestic ships that are so spectacular, they boggle the mind. And even though our impact on the planet is almost immeasurable, we too have committed to doing our part, leading the industry with ships fueled by cleaner LNG, and joining an industry commitment to pursue net carbon neutral cruising by 2050 and reduce emissions by 40% by 2030. Now, we've made numerous progress on multiple fronts, having peaked in absolute carbon emissions way back in 2011, despite having grown guest capacity since that time by more than 30%. It is an opportunity, and it is our collective responsibility as a sector to create change. Again, as the travel and tourism sector, we can lead the way. For the people of the world, let's take responsibility for our planet. Let's take the climate change challenge as an opportunity to once again be a catalyst for change and making our world a better place. I'm looking forward to everything we will achieve together. Thank you.
Bonjour. It's great to be talking to you again at the World Travel Forum. When I was with you last year, I
Bonjour.
WTTC
C'est
struck by the power of the work that you are doing to put resilience and sustainability, our two most critical issues, at the very top of the travel and tourism agenda. I always remind everybody that before the pandemic, travel and tourism represented 10% of the contribution to the global economy, and it also represented 1 in 4 new jobs. But we are more than statistics. Travel is a portal. It connects families, friends and colleagues. It opens us to the world, to new languages and cultures, and it has shrunk the globe in a way that was unimaginable just a few generations ago. For all these reasons, we want our sector to last, but there is no denying that we face some big challenges. Continued fallout from the COVID pandemic, China has still yet to open, rising conflicts, economic headwinds, and perhaps the defining issue of our age, climate change. 50% of global GDP relies on and depends on nature. As an industry, we are existentially threatened by extreme heat and rising seas, and ours is one of just 6 economic sectors with over 80% of its goods and services highly dependent on the natural world. That is why we must also be part of this solution. But how do we even begin to tackle a problem of such overwhelming magnitude? Well, I always remember an old saying that no one can whistle a symphony, it takes a whole orchestra. And that's never more true than in sustainability, than any other area facing humankind. This issue is bigger than just one company. It's bigger than one industry. It's a system-wide challenge, and solving it will take collaboration on a massive scale. Business and government, public and private, and partnership within our sector too. Our tour operators, travel agents, destination managers, cruise lines, hotel owners, airlines, airports, and many more, all coming together united with a shared goal. So at the WTTC, we have worked to do exactly that. Last year for COP26, we produced the first ever sector-wide net zero roadmap for travel and tourism. It brought the whole industry together under one umbrella, and it has been endorsed by the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Then, in April this year, we launched our Hotel Sustainability Basics. These are a globally coordinated set of actions that any hotel, however small, can take on, and it will help them begin their sustainability journey. It has since been supported by more than 60 hotel associations representing more than 50,000 hotels, and that really is just the beginning. And now, as we approach the UN's next biodiversity conference called COP15, the WTTC has launched a new report on nature-positive travel and tourism. It's part evidence, part manifesto, setting out the ideas and practical actions companies can take to become guardians of nature. And it's also a toolkit for companies of any size in any country to help them assess their individual impact on nature and enable them to take action. This landmark agenda is the first of its kind in the sector, bringing together businesses, climate scientists and biodiversity, as well as, importantly, the policymakers, the people sitting in governments making the rules. They need to play their part in the upcoming UN Summit on Biodiversity, all with the support from WTTC members and the Convention on Biological Diversity. At the heart of all this work is one simple thing: collaboration. It's why events like this are so critically important. They enable cross-sector dialogue and candid, open debate, public and private coming together, and they put sustainability at the top of the agenda. Now all that remains is action. So after this conference, when you sit down back at your desk on Monday morning, I urge every one of you, no matter your size, sector or role, to ask yourself a simple question: what's my next sustainability journey? And together I know we can take those crucial next steps to sustain our planet so that our planet in turn can sustain us. Merci beaucoup. Thank you to all.